Bruce Lee walks into Mighty Mix Boxing Gym in Philadelphia carrying a small gym bag when a 240-pound heavyweight sparring with Rocky Balboa stops mid-combination and laughs. Says, "What is this, a kid's karate class?" What happens in the next 90 seconds doesn't just silence the laughter. It shows Rocky Balboa that everything he knows about fighting is incomplete, and changes how the heavyweight champion of the world approaches combat for the rest of his career. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. June 1977. Thursday afternoon. 3:17 p.m. Mighty Mix Boxing Gym. Second floor of a brick building on Front Street. Narrow wooden staircase leading up. Every step creaks. Announcing arrivals. No surprises in Mickey's gym. The door at the top has a hand-painted sign. White letters on black wood. Mighty Mix Boxing. Simple. Direct. No pretense. Just like everything in this gym. Inside, the gym is pure function. No chrome equipment. No mirrors. No juice bar. Just 2 rings, heavy bags hanging from chains, speed bags, jump ropes, free weights, and wooden floors worn smooth from decades of footwork. The air is thick. Sweat. Leather. Liniment oil. That smell every real boxing gym has. The smell of work. Of blood. Of dreams chased and broken. The walls are covered with photos. Fighters Mickey trained over 50 years. Some made it. Most didn't. But all of them are on that wall. All of them mattered to Mickey. Rocky Balboa is in ring too. Sparring. He's been heavyweight champion for 4 months now. Beat Apollo Creed in the rematch. Knocked him out in the 15th round. Became the most famous fighter in America. The underdog who became king. But Rocky's not resting. Not celebrating. He's training. Always training. Because Rocky knows something most champions forget. The target on his back is permanent. Everyone wants what he has. Everyone's coming for him. So he works. Every day. 6 days a week. 3 hours minimum. Sometimes more. His sparring partner is Tommy Morrison. Not the famous Tommy Morrison. Different guy. Same name. This Tommy Morrison is 6 feet 4 inches. 240 pounds. Heavyweight contender. 10 wins. No losses. 8 knockouts. He's fast for a big man. Powerful. Hungry. Wants Rocky's title. Wants Rocky's fame. Wants everything Rocky has. Tommy's not in this gym to help Rocky train. He's here to prove he's better. To show Mickey he should be the champion. Not Rocky. Every sparring session is a real fight. Every punch has bad intentions. They're in round 4. Rocky's working the body. Getting inside Tommy's long reach. Hooking to the ribs. Making Tommy uncomfortable. Tommy's trying to keep distance. Using his jab. His reach advantage. Pushing Rocky back. They're both sweating. Both breathing hard. Both taking this seriously. Mickey's in Rocky's corner. Watching. Yelling instructions. Move your head, Rock. Don't stand still. Circle left. The gym is half full. Maybe 15 guys. Local fighters. Trainers. Gym regulars. Everyone stops what they're doing when Rocky spars. Watching the champion. Learning. Analyzing. Hoping to see weakness. Hoping to find the flaw they can exploit when they get their shot. Then the door opens. The staircase creaks. Everyone hears it. Heads turn. Wondering who's coming. The door swings open. Bruce Lee walks in. 5 feet 7 inches. 135 pounds. Wearing simple black training pants. Black shoes. White t-shirt. Carrying a small gym bag. His movements are effortless. Fluid. Like water. Like he's not walking so much as flowing across the floor. He stops just inside the door. Looks around. Taking in the gym. The equipment. The fighters. His expression is neutral. Calm. Observing everything. Missing nothing. The gym goes quiet. Not completely silent. But noticeably quieter. Guys are looking. Whispering. Is that Bruce Lee? What's he doing here? This is a boxing gym, not a karate school. Some recognize him from the Green Hornet. From martial arts demonstrations. From reputation. Bruce Lee is famous in fighting circles. But this is Philadelphia. This is a boxing gym. Kung Fu doesn't mean much here. Boxing is king. Always has been. Always will be. Rocky and Tommy don't stop sparring. Haven't noticed yet. Too focused on each other. Trading punches. Rocky lands a body shot. Tommy counters with a right hand that grazes Rocky's head. They clinch. The referee, a gym regular named Eddie, separates them. Break. Box. Bruce walks toward ring 2. Slow. Deliberate. Not interrupting. Just observing. Getting closer. He stops ringside. 10 feet from the ring. Sets his bag down. Crosses his arms. Watches Rocky and Tommy with that intense focus. That Bruce Lee focus that seems to see everything. Every movement. Every pattern. Every mistake. Tommy sees Bruce first. Mid-combination. His eyes flick to ringside. Sees this small Asian guy in street clothes watching. Tommy's concentration breaks. He stops punching. Drops his hands. Says loud enough for everyone to hear, "Yo, Mickey. What is this, a kid's karate class? This is a boxing gym." The gym erupts in laughter. Nervous laughter. Mean laughter. The laughter of people who feel superior. Who think size equals power. Who think their sport is the only real sport. Tommy's grinning. Playing to the crowd. Says, "Little man, you lost? The YMCA is 3 blocks down. They got karate classes there." Rocky stops. Looks at Tommy. Then looks at Bruce. Rocky's seen Bruce Lee on TV. Knows who he is. Knows his reputation. Rocky's not laughing. Doesn't think this is funny. Rocky spent his whole life being underestimated because of how he looks. Because of where he's from. Because people judge him before he opens his mouth. So Rocky doesn't like when people do it to others. Especially not in Mickey's gym. This gym is supposed to be about respect. About work. Not about mocking people. Rocky says, "Tommy, shut up and box." But Tommy's not done. He's feeling confident. Feeling big. Feeling superior. He climbs through the ropes. Steps down from the ring. Walks toward Bruce. Stands right in front of him. Tommy's a foot taller. 100 pounds heavier. Uses his size to intimidate. Looks down at Bruce. Says, "You want to learn boxing, little man? I'll teach you boxing. First lesson, size matters. Speed don't mean nothing when I can just grab you and throw you across the room." Bruce looks up at Tommy. His expression doesn't change. Not angry. Not scared. Just calm. He says quietly, "Size matters. You're right. But it's not everything. Tommy laughs. Yeah? What else matters? Efficiency. Economy of motion. Understanding how bodies work. Where they're strong. Where they're weak. How to use physics instead of just muscle. Tommy looks confused. Physics? What are you, a teacher? This is fighting, not science class. Bruce says, fighting is science. People who don't understand that lose to people who do. The gym is silent now. Everyone watching. This is getting interesting. Rocky climbs out of the ring. Walks over. Says, Tommy, that's enough. Tommy ignores him. Says to Bruce, okay, teacher. Let's test your science. Hit me. Your best shot. Right here. He taps his jaw. Let's see if your physics can hurt me. Bruce doesn't move. Says, I don't need to hurt you to prove a point. Yeah, because you can't. Because you're too small. Too weak. All that kung fu stuff looks good in movies. Don't work in real life against real fighters. Mickey's climbing out of the ring now. Walking over. Says, Tommy, knock it off. Show some respect. But Tommy's committed now. Ego fully engaged. Says, I'm just educating this guy, Mick. Showing him the difference between real fighting and dancing around in pajamas. Bruce's expression shifts slightly. Not anger. Something else. Disappointment. Like he's heard this 1,000 times. Like he's tired of proving himself to people who don't understand. He says, you want a demonstration? Tommy grins. Yeah. Show me your kung fu magic. Bruce says, not magic. Technique. If I demonstrate, you need to understand something first. I'm not trying to humiliate you. I'm trying to educate you. Help you see what you're missing. Are you willing to learn? Tommy laughs. I don't need to learn nothing from someone half my size. But sure, show me. This should be funny. Bruce looks at Rocky. Says, you're the champion. You okay with this? Rocky looks at Bruce. Then at Tommy. Then nods. Yeah. Go ahead. Tommy needs to learn some humility anyway. Bruce sets his bag aside. Rolls his shoulders. Loose. Relaxed. Says to Tommy, throw a punch at me. Your best. Your fastest. Don't hold back. Tommy grins. This is going to be easy. He squares up. Takes a boxing stance. Not a great stance. Too wide. Too tense. But strong. Powerful. He throws a right cross. Fast for a big man. Real speed behind it. Real power. Aimed at Bruce's face. Bruce doesn't block. Doesn't cover. He moves. A tiny movement. Maybe 3 inches. Just enough. His head slips to the right. Tommy's punch passes where Bruce's face was a fraction of a second ago. Misses by a hair. Close enough that Bruce feels the air displacement. But doesn't land. Tommy's off balance now. Overcommit. Weight too far forward. Hands out of position. Vulnerable. Bruce's right hand shoots out. Not a punch. A strike. Open palm. Targets Tommy's solar plexus. The spot right below the sternum where the diaphragm is most exposed. Bruce's hand connects. Doesn't look hard. Doesn't look violent. Looks almost gentle. But the effect is immediate. Tommy's breath exits his body. All of it. At once. His diaphragm spasms. Locks up. He can't inhale. Can't get air. His mouth opens. Gasping. Nothing comes in. His hands drop to his stomach. His eyes go wide. Panic. The animal panic of not being able to breathe. Bruce steps back. Says calmly, "Relax. Breathe through it. Your diaphragm will reset in about 30 seconds. You're not hurt. Just temporarily unable to breathe." Tommy drops to one knee. Still gasping. Face going red. Then pale. Mickey rushes over. Says, "Tommy. You okay?" Tommy can't answer. Can't speak. Just kneeling there trying to remember how to breathe. The gym is completely silent. Nobody's laughing now. Everyone just watched a 135-pound martial artist shut down a 240-pound heavyweight with one strike. One precise, controlled, devastating strike. 30 seconds pass. Tommy's diaphragm resets. Air rushes back into his lungs. Ragged. Painful. But air. He's breathing. He stays on his knee. Looking at the floor. Humiliated. Shocked. Trying to process what just happened. Bruce kneels down next to him. Says, "You asked if size matters. It does. But technique matters more. You outweigh me by 100 pounds. You're faster than most men your size. Stronger. In a prolonged fight, in a boxing ring with rounds and rest periods, you'd probably beat me. Your size and stamina would wear me down eventually. But in a real confrontation, in the first exchange, precision beats power. Understanding beats size. I didn't beat you because I'm stronger. I beat you because I knew exactly where to hit and you didn't know how to defend it." Tommy looks up at Bruce. No anger. Just confusion. Says, "How did you do that?" Bruce says, "I studied anatomy. Studied how the nervous system works. Studied pressure points. Studied how to maximize force with minimum effort. That's what martial arts is. Not magic. Science. Applied physics. Understanding leverage, momentum, body mechanics. All the things boxing teaches too. But boxing limits itself to hands, to certain targets, to certain techniques. Martial arts explores everything. Every tool. Every target. Every possibility." Bruce stands. Extends his hand to Tommy. Tommy takes it. Bruce helps him up. Tommy's still shaky. Still processing. Bruce says, "You're a good fighter. I can see that. You've got power. Speed. Heart. But you're incomplete. You've only learned one way to fight. One system. And that makes you predictable. Makes you vulnerable to anyone who fights differently." Tommy nods. Can't argue. Just got proven wrong in the most definitive way possible. Rocky's been watching all of this. Silent. Processing. His mind is racing. He just watched Bruce Lee dismantle a heavyweight contender in seconds. Not with superior power. With superior understanding. With technique so precise, so efficient, it made size irrelevant. And Rocky realizes something. Realizes that everything he knows about fighting is limited. Is incomplete. Is missing something crucial. Rocky walks over to Bruce. Says, "That was. I ain't never seen anything like that." Bruce says, "You've never trained in martial arts?" "No. Just boxing. All my life. Just boxing." Bruce nods. Boxing is beautiful. Pure. The sweet science. I respect it deeply. But it's one color in a much larger palette. One chapter in a much longer book. Rocky says, can you teach me? Bruce looks at Rocky. Studies him. Sees something. Potential. Openness. Willingness to learn. Says, "You're the heavyweight champion. Why would you want to learn from me?" "Because what you just did, that wasn't boxing. That was something else. Something I don't understand. And I need to understand it. Because there's guys out there who fight like you fight. Who know things I don't know. And if I can't defend against that, I'm gonna lose eventually. Gonna lose my title to someone who knows more than me." Bruce smiles slightly. Respect in his eyes. Says, "That's wisdom. Most champions think they know everything. Think their way is the only way. You're different. You know your limitations. That's rare. That's valuable." Mickey walks over. Says, "Bruce Lee, right? I've heard of you. Seen some of your demonstrations. You really think you can teach Rocky something he don't already know?" Bruce says, "I can teach anyone something they don't already know. The question is whether they're willing to learn. Whether they're willing to admit there's more to fighting than what they've been taught." Mickey looks at Rocky. Says, "Rock, you sure about this? You got a title defense in 3 months. Against Ken Norton. Don't have time to be learning Kung Fu." Rocky says, "I ain't trying to learn Kung Fu, Mick. I'm trying to understand what I just saw. Trying to fill in the gaps. Trying to be more complete. If Bruce can show me things that make me better, why wouldn't I learn them?" Mickey thinks about this. Then nods. Says to Bruce, "Okay. You got an hour. Show us what you got." Bruce says, "I need more than an hour to teach you anything meaningful. But I can show you concepts. Show you what's possible. Show you where boxing is strong and where it has blind spots." For the next hour, Bruce works with Rocky. Not teaching him Kung Fu. Teaching him principles. Showing him how to see openings he's been missing. How to defend against attacks boxing doesn't typically prepare for. How to use his body more efficiently. How to generate power from places Rocky didn't know power existed. Bruce shows Rocky the 1-inch punch. Places his fist 1 inch from Rocky's chest. Tells him to brace. Rocky does. Tenses every muscle. Prepares for impact. Bruce's fist moves forward. 1 inch. That's all. But the force is incredible. Rocky stumbles backward 3 steps. Shocked. Says, "How is that possible?" Bruce explains, "You're generating power from your arms and shoulders. That's how boxing teaches you. But real power comes from the ground. Travels up through your legs, through your hips, through your core, and finally through your fist. That's kinetic chain. That's physics. I'm not stronger than you. I'm just using more of my body." Bruce shows Rocky how to defend against kicks. Leg kicks that target the thigh. Front kicks to the knee. Round kicks to the ribs. All illegal in boxing. All devastatingly effective in real fighting. Rocky's never defended against these. Has no framework. Bruce teaches him. Shows him angles. Shows him how to check kicks. How to counter them. How to make them expensive for the opponent. Bruce shows Rocky trapping. Close-range techniques that neutralize the opponent's hands. Make it impossible to punch. Boxing doesn't teach this. Boxing assumes both fighters will maintain certain distance. Will respect certain rules. But real fighting doesn't always follow rules. Bruce shows Rocky what happens when someone gets inside his guard and traps his arms. Shows him how helpless he becomes. Then shows him how to escape. How to counter. How to prevent it. The hour passes quickly. Rocky's sweating. Mind overwhelmed. He's learned more in 60 minutes than he learned in the last year of boxing training. Not because boxing is inferior. Because boxing is incomplete. Because every fighting system has strengths and weaknesses. And Rocky just spent an hour discovering his weaknesses. Bruce says, "That's enough for today. More than this and you won't retain anything. Your brain needs time to process." Rocky says, "When can we do this again? When do you want to?" "Tomorrow. Every day. Until my fight. Until I understand this." Bruce shakes his head. "No. Not every day. Twice a week. Maximum. You're a boxer. That's your foundation. That's your strength. I'm not trying to make you a martial artist. I'm trying to make you a more complete fighter. Too much training with me and you'll lose your boxing edge. Lose what makes you great. We supplement. We don't replace." Rocky nods. Understanding. Bruce is right. Rocky's not trying to become Bruce Lee. He's trying to become a better Rocky Balboa. They train together twice a week for the next 3 months. Every session, Bruce shows Rocky something new. Some technique. Some concept. Some principle. Rocky absorbs it all. Integrates it. Makes it his own. His boxing doesn't change. But it expands. Becomes more adaptive. More unpredictable. More dangerous. 3 months later. Rocky fights Ken Norton. Norton's a beast. 6 feet 3 inches. 220 pounds. Broke Muhammad Ali's jaw. Beat him once. Almost beat him twice. Norton's tough. Technical. Dangerous. The odds makers favor Norton slightly. Think Rocky might be overmatched. Might lose his title. The fight is brutal. 15 rounds. Norton's bringing everything. Jabs. Combinations. Power shots. But something's different about Rocky. He's slipping punches he used to eat. He's countering from angles he never used before. In the 8th round, Norton throws a lazy leg kick. Illegal. Cheap shot. Testing whether Rocky knows how to defend it. Rocky checks it perfectly. Lifts his knee. Norton's shin hits Rocky's shin. Norton winces. Hurt himself. Shocked that Rocky knew how to defend it. In the 12th round, Norton gets inside. Tries to smother Rocky. Tie him up. But Rocky uses trapping techniques. Pins Norton's arms. Creates separation. Norton's confused. This isn't boxing. What is Rocky doing? But it's effective. It works. It gives Rocky space to land a combination. 1-2. Body head. Norton stumbles. Rocky wins by unanimous decision. Retains his title. And after the fight, reporters ask what changed. What made the difference? Rocky says, "I learned that boxing is beautiful. But it ain't everything. I learned that being open to learning, to growing, to filling in your blind spots, that's what separates good champions from great champions." A reporter asks, "Did someone teach you something new?" Rocky says, "Yeah. A friend. Taught me that technique beats size. That understanding beats power. That being complete beats being specialized. Changed how I see fighting. Changed how I see everything." Bruce Lee watches the fight on TV. In his home in Los Angeles. Sees Rocky use the techniques they worked on. Sees Rocky check that leg kick. Sees Rocky use trapping. Smiles. Not because he wants credit. Because he saw a fighter willing to grow. Willing to learn. Willing to admit he doesn't know everything. That's rare. That's special. A week after the fight, Rocky calls Bruce. Says, "Thank you. For what you taught me. For making me better." Bruce says, "You made yourself better. I just showed you what was possible. You did the work. You integrated it. You made it yours. That's all you." Rocky says, "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "That first day at the gym. When Tommy challenged you. You could have hurt him bad. Could have broke his ribs. Crushed his throat. Really damaged him. But you didn't. You just took his breath. Made your point without causing real harm. Why?" Bruce is quiet for a moment. Then says, "Because the goal wasn't to hurt him. The goal was to teach him. Hurting him would have made him an enemy. Would have made him resentful. Would have closed his mind. But showing him I could hurt him, then helping him up, then explaining what happened, that opened his mind. Made him willing to learn. Made him better. That's the goal. Always. Not to destroy people. To improve them." Rocky says, "That's what you did for me too. Showed me what I was missing. Made me better. Didn't tear me down. Built me up." Bruce says, "You were already great, Rocky. I just added a few colors to your palette. The painting was always yours." They talk for another hour. About fighting. About philosophy. About what it means to be a warrior. About how the real fight isn't in the ring. It's against your own limitations. Your own ego. Your own refusal to grow. And the fighters who win that fight, who beat their own ego, who keep learning, who stay humble, those are the fighters who become legends. Years later, when Bruce dies suddenly in 1973, wait, this is 1977 in our story. Let me fix that timeline. Years later, after both men retire, after their fighting days are over, they stay in touch. Friends. Mutual respect. Bruce teaches seminars. Rocky attends when he can. Always in the back. Always watching. Always learning. People ask Rocky why he still trains. Why he still studies. He's retired. He's got nothing to prove. Rocky says, "Bruce taught me that martial arts is a journey. Not a destination. You never arrive. You never know everything. You just keep growing. Keep learning. Keep improving." That lesson applies to everything. Fighting. Life. All of it. So I keep training. Not to be the best. To be better than I was yesterday. That's the goal. Always has been. Always will be. Tommy Morrison, the sparring partner who laughed at Bruce that first day, he changes too. Asks Bruce to teach him. Spends years studying martial arts alongside boxing. Becomes more complete. More humble. More dangerous. And when people ask what changed him, he tells them about the day a 135-pound martial artist took his breath away with one strike. Says, "That day I learned that what you don't know can beat you faster than what you do know. Learned that being humble enough to learn from someone half your size is strength, not weakness. Learned that real fighters never stop being students." The story spreads through the boxing community. About the day Bruce Lee visited Mighty Mick's gym. About the 90 seconds that changed everything. About how the heavyweight champion of the world learned from someone 100 pounds lighter. About how admitting you don't know everything is the first step to becoming truly great. And the lesson isn't that Bruce Lee is better than Rocky Balboa. Or that martial arts is better than boxing. The lesson is that completeness beats specialization. That being open to learning beats thinking you know everything. That the strongest fighters aren't the ones with the biggest muscles or the hardest punch. They're the ones humble enough to keep growing. Smart enough to recognize their limitations. brave enough to fill in their blind spots. Rocky Balboa learned that in 90 seconds. Watching Bruce Lee dismantle a man twice his size with one precise strike. And that lesson carried Rocky through the rest of his career. Through title defenses. Through losses. Through comebacks. Through everything. Because Rocky understood something most champions never learn. The fight you need to win isn't against the opponent in front of you. It's against your own ego. Your own certainty. Your own belief that you've learned enough. And the fighters who win that fight, who beat their own ego, who stay humble, who keep learning, those are the fighters who become legends. Not because they never lost. Because they never stopped growing. That's what Bruce Lee taught Rocky Balboa in 90 seconds. And what Rocky spent the rest of his life proving. That real strength isn't in your fists. It's in your willingness to admit you don't know everything. To seek out people who can teach you. To integrate what they offer. To become more complete. More dangerous. More effective. Not just as a fighter. As a person. Who's the Bruce Lee in your life? Who's the person half your size who knows things you don't? Who's the person you're dismissing because they don't fit your expectations? And more importantly, are you humble enough to learn from them? Are you open enough to admit they might know something valuable? Are you brave enough to say, I don't know everything, and mean it? Because that's where growth happens. In that admission. In that humility. In that openness to learning from anyone, anywhere, regardless of their size or background or credentials. Bruce Lee understood that. Rocky Balboa learned it. And 90 seconds in a Philadelphia boxing gym taught both men something they carried forever. Size doesn't determine who wins. Knowledge does. Technique does. Willingness to learn does. And the people who understand that, who embrace it, who build their life around it, they're the ones who change the world. One 90-second lesson at a time.